Welcome to MarketTamer.com. We're looking at the S&P 500 on Wednesday, June 17th. And a couple of days ago, we were discussing the fact that the S&P 500 had touched its 20-day moving average. We had seen the close below the 5-day, and we were noting that in the past, we've actually seen this 20-day hold. For example, back in May, we were actually looking at almost an identical pattern here where the 5-day was bearish. We saw the price action go below that. We saw the 20-day get hit, just as we did a couple of days ago on Monday. We saw it also later in the month where the 20-day again was hit. And at each stage, we were looking to see whether that 20-day would hold. In fact, in both cases, it did. It also held earlier in April, mid-April, early April, as well as the mid-March time frame. But this is the first critical break below that 20-day moving average. So this is significant, and the behavior is also replicated in the other indexes. If we look at the Dow, we can see that the Dow has actually closed below the 20-day also. We can see today's price action is relatively flat, not surprising that there would be a flat move or in fact even a slight retracement up to test that 20-day. The interesting thing about this is the first day that we saw a slight digression of behavior was on Monday, and we pointed it out at that stage that in the past, during the rest of this uptrend, what we were seeing was the NASDAQ outperform on up days and also outperform on down days. Now, the first time we really saw that pattern change was on Monday, where the NASDAQ actually dropped by a greater percentage. And as a result, that was the first indicator that potentially something was going on here that we needed to be aware of. Now, as we see, the NASDAQ is the best looking index at this point in time. It's still just about hovering around its 20-day moving average. So of all the indexes, even though it was the one that signaled potentially there was a greater correction to come, it's also the one that's holding up best because of its relative strength so far in this rally. So we'll keep a close eye on it. But just to show you the correlation, as we've seen before, if we look to the US dollar index, we'll find that it in fact is the case that the markets are looking to move opposite to the US dollar. That is, as the dollar rallies here, we see the markets drop. And just take a look at that here. We've seen the dollar actually hit a low somewhere early June, and we've seen it rally pretty substantially here in the last few days, and obviously that accompanies a market correction. So once again, very strong correlation between the market as a whole and the US dollar. In the past, obviously, we've seen cases where as the market shows a lot of strength, we've seen the US dollar actually drop, and that has been the case here from the March highs here in the dollar all the way to the June lows. So the next thing we might take a look at here is Wells Fargo, and just keep in mind that a lot of the banks are showing weakness right now. Wells Fargo is one of the stocks in the news today, and it's down quite substantially, actually. You might say a 5% move or so, and a lot of the banks are down. So if you're in any bank stocks, you've somehow taken advantage of the uptrend and you're concerned right now, as with any holdings at this point in time, it is well worth keeping an eye on your portfolio from a hedge perspective. Look to protective put options as a means of mitigating risk. If you're concerned, obviously, it's always a good idea to contact your financial advisor and ask what might be an appropriate risk mitigating solution. But they typically are very good tools to hedge a portfolio when an expected correction is due to occur. So here we see Wells Fargo down about 5%, touching its 50-day right now. It's been pretty flat for a while, but we'll see if this is a breakout to the downside. We'll keep an eye on this. So with that, have a wonderful day. We'll keep on top of the markets here. We'll have 2 sessions tonight for members, and we'll look forward to seeing you at those. All the best. Have a wonderful day.